So let's get started. Basically, this came up because I had a couple people in the group that asked about this, and a couple people in my programs that have asked about this. And I've went to conferences where they're talking about how to build your group, and people go back and ask the question, well, what's the difference between a page and a group? Do I need a page and a group? And then I've also seen great businesses on Facebook. It's funny, a lot of chefs do this where they have their personal page, then they create another personal page and use that for business. I've seen club promoters create their own page and a personal page to promote their clubs and stuff. And the thing is, you're doing it wrong. You're using Facebook wrong. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do just kind of a 101 type. What's the difference? What are the different use cases for Facebook profiles? That's your personal one. Fan pages, that's your business, and groups. And then also, do you need them? Hey, Stella. Hey, Lindsay. As we're going through, ask your questions. Don't wait to the end. Just pop them in. I'll either ignore them or answer them at the time. So let's get started. Let's talk about the differences. So one, you're going to have your Facebook profile, right? That's where you sign up with your name and your email address. And you're like, this is what school I went to. This is where I work. I'm married or I'm single. And, I live in Georgia. I like dogs. So that's your Facebook profile. Let me tell you a couple things about your Facebook profile that you may or may not have known. You can actually separate your friends, your family, your close friends, your associates, the people you don't like, but you've accepted also, your family that gets on your nerves, but you've accepted also. You can actually separate those into groups. So again, we're talking about your personal profile that you signed up with. And so what you can do is set them up in groups where they're either like a close contact. You can add if they're your family or friends. And what Facebook does is this whole heebie-jeebie magic stuff, using their algorithm to start out showing you your friends and family and close friends first. If you put them into your groups, and this is Facebook profile groups, not a Facebook group, you can actually separate them where Facebook will kind of help you out and show you things. The things you post here are, I'm engaged, I have a new dog, I just had a baby, I'm, moving, things like that, right? Those are all your personal things. If you are a business, you can share some things from your business to your personal Facebook profile. However, you cannot do business on your Facebook profile. So on your profile, your personal Facebook profile, you cannot do business. That means you're not, and how do I say this? It's not your primary business for primary place to promote your business. The reason why is it's against Facebook rules. And so people have snitched, and I hate that people do that, but people will report other people like, hey, they're doing business on their personal page, which in my mind, why don't you just unfollow or unfriend? But anyways, it's another story. On your Facebook profile, you don't want to be heavily into business, right? You can share things about your business. You can share what you like and your interest and that you have a new business. And here's a link to my new business, or here, this is what we're doing. But the whole thing is your profile should be about your lifestyle, right? And thanks, Charisse, for sharing. I appreciate it. The other thing is, and welcome to the Pink Boss Academy. The other thing about your profile is it's basically they want you to share moments. If you notice, Facebook a while ago changed it to your timeline. So this is your life. And your life might be that right now you own a coaching business. It might be in 10 years you own a boutique. And 10 years from now, another 15 years, you're a hairstylist. Whatever it is, it's the changes you go through in your life. And so since your business is part of that, it's some of your interests that you can share. So that's your profile, right? So when you start a business, you want to create a fan page, AKA a business page, AKA my biz page, whatever else you call it. But the whole thing is you want to separate your profile from your fan page and think of it as a fan page. If you like Game of Thrones, you're going to like their fan page, right? It's not a person that you're actually going to in their personal profile and you're sharing things and, they're telling you what they did during the day. It's actually a fan page. And on that fan page, what you should share is upcoming shows, news about the shows, news about the artists, just basically updates. So think of it like when you wake up, what's going on with Game of Thrones right now, right? What's coming up, things like that. Scandal, they're going to tell you about new episodes. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to talk about what's going on. Moving into things that are sold, like products, Shea Moisture and things like that. If you use Shea Moisture, that's a product. So they should be sharing things about news, how to use their products, maybe videos on, you know, different clients or different events that they show, sales that can come up, events, places that they're going, free trials. Okay, so these are larger companies and brands that are sharing news about their brand. And so you should do the same. So on your Facebook fan page, right? Profile, fan page. On your fan page, you're actually gonna share things about your business. So that could be things like sales that you have coming up. It could be information for people who follow you or who are a fan of your brand. It could be other things that interest them. And this is the thing that I have to warn everyone about. No one is coming to your fan page just to hear about you or just to hear about business or just to be sold. Your fan page is informational. It's news. So think of it as news, educational, entertaining. Basically what you're going to do is post things that your people want to read about. Like for me, and I'm not going to even lie, I've been slacking a little bit on my Facebook fan page, but I'm going to share my YouTube videos because people are going to want to know how to do something educational, right? But it can be entertaining. A lot of things that I can share BuzzFeed videos. I share a lot of articles from, Enterprise, Inc., Black Enterprise, because my audience wants to see that kind of information. Let me tell you the benefits first about the difference between your profile and your fan page. Then we'll move on to groups. So on my profile, I have tons of people that follow or that I'm friends with on my personal profile. I can't tell who's what age unless I click on each one, right? I don't know what their shopping habits are. I don't know really a lot of their demographics, like how many kids they have, or do they buy a lot online, things like that. However, on my Facebook fan page, I have what's called Audience Insights. Have you guys ever used Audience Insights? If so, let me know how you've used them. Put them in the comments here. So there's something called Audience Insights, and you can actually narrow this down either to everything in Facebook or just the things on your page. Information that you can find here. How many people total are on Facebook, right? And actually, let's go back to your page. On my fan page, I can say how many people are on my page. What's the percentage of female versus male? How many shop at Coach? How many shop at Fendi? How many like Scandal? How many read Oprah's magazine? All that information is actually available to you on your fan page after you hit 1,000 likes, right? Audience behavior. Thank you, Cherie. So audience behavior. Some of the things that you can look at is people who have more than 7 credit cards. You can look at if people are frequent buyers, if they buy luxury things, if they own homes, if they have a high school education or a college education. And so the thing is, it doesn't tell you who. So it's not going to tell me Charisse makes $1 million and she drives a Porsche, right? What it's going to say is 60% of your audience makes $1 million and they drive a Porsche. And what that means is you can start using that to provide updates that they care about. So maybe it's like, they're business owners and you want to say, okay, on your way to your new Porsche, well, here's the new updates on Porsche. It has nothing to do with your business, but it's something that your audience likes. So Audience Insights, you can learn what your audience likes, who they are. I always talk about your ICA. If you know what an ICA is, put it in the comments. And just a reminder, if you're not on my Facebook page, Socially Nina, I'm not seeing your comments. So head over to my Facebook page. But in your Audience Insights, I can see if they purchase online, if they are a mom, what their lifestyle is. And this helps me actually target them, and it helps me figure out who my audience is. Another benefit of having a Facebook fan page is that you can actually do ads. I can't do ads on my personal profile, nor would I want to, but I can do ads saying this is my new freebie. This is my new program. This is who I am. All of those kind of things. This is my new YouTube video. Everything is about connecting with your fans, and it doesn't have to be fanatics. It just has to be people who are interested in the information that you give or your brand, right? So your Facebook fan page is more dedicated to your business. Another benefit, we talked about audience insights, right? We also talked about targeted ads. Another thing is you can share the responsibility. So as a business owner, I might be managing my Facebook page, but then I might be on vacation and I want someone else to manage. I don't have to give them my password. I don't have to give them full access. I can actually just add one person and say, hey, can you help me manage? Or can you help me do ads? Or can you help me do whatever it is? I believe there's 4 or 5 different levels of access that you give to someone to your page. So I can give tons of people, don't do that, but I can give my whole team access to my Facebook fan page and they can control it. They can post on it. And we have a team of people actually working on that page, unlike my personal profile, which I would have to log into. Okay, so let me just see if I mention or if I failed to mention anything. I wrote like a couple of notes here. Oh, the other difference between your personal profile and your fan page is your personal profile. Typically, it's going to be whoever is are your friends. That's who see your post. I changed my post where everyone publicly can see it, but typically just people who you connect with and who are your friends or who follow you see your post. Your fan page is everyone. Although you can block people, you're not like picking and connecting people to your fan page. They just find it and like it. Okay, so if it says add as a friend, it's a personal profile, friend, right? If it's a fan page, I like this brand, so I like it, and they're kind of following you that way. Okay, good. Okay, now let's talk about fan pages versus groups, because this is a question that I get a lot. And so one thing I want to start with is not every brand, of course, has a group, but also not every brand needs a group. And even if you do need a group, not every business or brand can actually handle a group. Believe it or not, a group is a lot of work. Think of the group as your inner circle. Okay, your fan page, people like it. They get news updates. They get different things that they want. You can target them with the ads. In your group, it's people who want like to get a little bit closer to you. So you're having conversations with them one-on-one or in that group setting. And so your group is actually, the difference is you're going to create a fan page. It actually says create a page, or you'll see create a group. In your group, you can set it to 3 different settings. You can set it to public. That means kind of like your fan page. Everyone can join. Everyone can see whether they're in the group or not. It's not something I advise at all. I'm sure there's use cases for it, but it's not something that I use. But what I typically see is you can also do the second level, which means it's a private group. Where that comes in handy is people actually, it's kind of like a gatekeeper. It's like they knock, they're like, hey, can I get in? And you go, and this is the thing that you have to do. Go check out their profile and see if they belong in that group. And so some of the things I check for is if they're, very, very negative on their page and they have nothing to do with business and they're, talking bad about a certain group or whatever, I'm not going to let them in, right? But you want to create a community. So this can be just like in real world, if you have in the real world, not the show, but the real world, there are church groups, there's school groups, there's PTA groups, there's school groups, there's study groups, there's masterminds. All of those are commonalities. They're groups of people who come together for one common goal, right? And so in your group, you want to determine what your goal is. Is your goal to support people on their entrepreneurial journey, which that's the goal of mine? Or is it to provide encouragement for someone who had a life-changing event? Is it a community thing? Is it a PTA group and a way to communicate? In your group, you can set it to private, and just that group of people will have access to that. And we'll come back to that. The last one is secret. Secret, so there's public, private, and secret. Secret means no one can search for it and find it. you actually have to send them the link or add them directly to get into it. Okay, so going back to private, because most of the groups that I'm a part of and that and my group as well, which is the Pink Boss Club. If you're not in the Pink Boss Club, I would highly suggest that you join it. We just hit 3,000 members. You can go to pinkboss.club and find the group. Anyways, in my group, we do things like asking and answering questions about technology that help entrepreneurs. We have different challenges in that group. People ask questions, people vent, people post their fan pages, and people post their freebies, things like that. It's a community of entrepreneurs who want help. They want like-minded individuals around them, and they want just someone who is like them. It can be mompreneurs, it can be moms, first-time moms, anything. It could be YouTubers, anything that has a common goal or common attraction to people. That's what you would do with your group. So my fan page is a little more broad. So it's about what's going on with me, what's going on with my business, things that I'm sharing, anything that entrepreneurs want to know, different articles, different changes on Facebook, different changes on Instagram. So that's what you put out there. In my group, since I know that people are now, yay, we have group insights. But in my group, it's more of what's your freebie? What are you struggling with? What do you need help with? And I'm engaging with those people. They're answering questions. They're asking questions. They're connecting with other people. Again, common goal. So your group is something that you're just engaging in. Again, it's your inner circle. One of the things that I want to mention is when you have a group, I am in my group every single day. Okay. The benefits of having a group is there's like the sense of community. People know you. And then also it's a group of people that you get to know. So you know your audience even more. So Facebook fan page gives you numbers and data. But when you're in the group, I know who does what. I ask questions all the time. I did it the other day. I was like, in 5 words, what do you do? I can look through that list and see, okay, this is exactly what people think they do, or this is exactly what they do, or this is exactly what they need help with. I do What the What Wednesdays, where it's like, what do you need help with things? So it's keeping in touch with my audience in a way where you're not so separated. They're not a fan. We're a community of people. It says you're reading my mind. You're answering my questions before I even get to answer them. Good. Thank you, Lindsay. And so this is what comes up a lot. There's a lot of groups out there, and sorry, you guys, this is a habit, messing with my hair when I do live streams. Groups are a lot of work. You can preset your posts just like you do Facebook pages. And go ahead and start asking your questions now so I can get to them, you guys. And Crystal, I have a pop-up that says you commented on the video. Make sure you're on my fan page, Socially Nina, and that you can, thank you, Destiny, that you can ask me questions, because even though I'm on my fan page, I shared it to my personal profile and I shared it to my group, right? I'm efficient. So back to the kind of running a group. So one of the things is when I started my group, everyone was saying that's how you start things. That's how you get your audience and all that kind of stuff. And the way I started my group is I had a freebie, and I think it was something about social media graphics, and it was Canva. And basically I did an ad on my fan page for, people who wanted to learn. Oh, I see it now, Crystal. They wanted to learn more about graphics. Okay. And so I did an ad on my fan page, which is Socially Nina, right? And then I said, hey, if you want to learn how to do social media graphics, they're easy and you don't have to pay people, all that kind of stuff. Some graphic artists got upset, but either way, people signed up for my mailing list and I sent them the video. But on the thank you page of my freebie, it said, hey, do you want help with this? So instead of just looking at the video, if you have questions, join my group. At that time, it was Business Masterminds, right? Join my Business Masterminds group and I can answer additional questions, right? Then when I delivered my freebie, right, it emailed to them. It was like, hey, here's your freebie. Here's the link to the video. If you have questions, go ahead and join my group, Business Masterminds, right? Which is now, you guys, Pink Boss Academy, Pink Boss Club, right? And then so what would happen is people would join the group, and in my video, this is the thing, in my freebie, and I need to start doing this again, I would say, okay, try to create this graphic. Now go post it in my group and ask me questions, or go post it in the group and show off things. And what that did is it created a community of people who thought they couldn't do graphics. And now they're in this group with other people who didn't think they could do graphics, and they're all showing their graphics. Other people were sharing, and I'm sure it's hard to share and ask questions. And they're like, hey, I did this, but I didn't know how to create a line or change the color or anything like that. And so then I would be like, oh, this is how to do it. And I would have a YouTube video, and I would say, okay, you asked this question. Here's a YouTube video to answer the question. So let's step back. People started on my fan page, right? Not my personal page, my fan page, because they wanted one thing, to learn how to do graphics. I said, here's how to do graphics, and here's a group that you can actually find help on this and other things, right? Meanwhile, while they're in that group, if they ask a question, I create a YouTube video that answers their question. Since they're on my, since they're on my newsletter, I can then send an email saying, hey, here's a new video that answers this question about graphics. I already know that they like graphics because on my fan page, that's what they signed up for. I know that at least one person has that question, so I answer the question for everyone. And then I have on my YouTube video, this is how you do, the lines and the colors. This is a question that was asked in the business masterminds. Join the business masterminds if you have any more questions. So you see that circle? I'm directing everyone to my group, because then we can talk. And then I'm not going to YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else to talk to people and answer questions. And so now in that group, it's this community of people who have questions and answers about graphics. Then we move on to another topic, or we move on to a challenge, and people are getting to know each other. Thank you, Larry. People are, and just FYI, my group is no longer called Business Masterminds. I rebranded it to Pink Boss Club. And now it's all these entrepreneurs, females and males, who just have questions in general about social media, being an entrepreneur, time management, how to be productive, how to leave your job, all those kind of things. But the thing is, it's a community. A group is a community. A fan page gives you information, and you use that to build your community, okay? Crystal says, I created a group from a challenge that I had, but I don't think I want a group. Crystal, tell me why, because that's actually the next thing we're going to talk about. So this is kind of like, don't start a group if, okay? Don't start a group if. So actually, let me start with this. I was getting a lot of inbox questions, and this is actually before. I used to always get a lot of text messages, calls about tech stuff, right? People thought I was like the tech support. And so now what I can do is when people inbox me and say, hey, Nina, how do I do this? I'm like, put it in the group. I'm going to put that in the group. Put that question in the group. This does two things. One, I could answer it once and put it in the group, right? Two, if I don't get to it, someone else in the group will answer. And three, if I don't know the answer, someone in the group will step up. And there's a whole list of other things, but it also saves time because I'm not answering questions on text and phone and inbox. It's actually in the group. So my group, I don't want to say it's tech support, but it's support for entrepreneurs, whether it's time management, strategy, tech, social media, but it's not me, it's the community that's answering it. And so the hard part is building that community. I'm gonna tell you, it's not like you add a couple people and bam, there's a community. You actually have to build that community. What is it? It's just so many out there thinking of other ways to keep my tribe going. So this is the thing, Crystal. She was saying she's not sure if she wants to keep her group. So this is the thing. When I first started and I was getting my people, and when I hit like 250, I was like up to 250. I was like, no one's talking, no one's engaging, only a couple people are posting and this and that. Trey was in there. Trey was posting like 24/7. There was a couple people that's been with me through the beginning. Katya, all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, and hold on real quick. The thing is, it takes a while to get your group started. And I'm gonna tell you why. There's this thing called the 90-9-1 rule. Hashtag 9011. You guys go ahead and put that in the comments. Hashtag 9011. That adds up to, 9091. That adds up to 100%. So 100% of the people are not going to talk 100% of the time. That's in life, period, right? And sorry, Crystal, I said the wrong thing. It's 99-1. Thank you. Okay. It adds up to 100%. The 99-1 rule is a community rule, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know who created it in the background. It's just, I've read a lot of articles about it. If I can find who created it, I'll post it in my Facebook group, Pink Boss Club, later though. The truth is 90% of the people are just watching. It doesn't mean they're not going to get the information. It doesn't mean they don't like you. It doesn't mean that they're not engaged. It means that their job in life, in groups and communities, is to watch, is to observe what you're doing and to take in information. They may never comment. They may only comment when they think it's like, hey, promo day, anything like that. But 90%, that's a lot. Yes, lurkers. And people hate lurkers. I love lurkers. You know why? Because they're still getting my information, and those are the people that buy. They don't need to talk to me. They don't need to engage with everybody to say, okay, that's what I want to do. Sometimes those are introverts. Sometimes they're people who don't like technology. Sometimes people are at work and they're just listening or looking or whatever. Whatever it is, there's 90% of the people in a community that's just going to lurk or just going to watch, okay? 9% of those people are going to engage in some way. They're going to like, they might add a comment, they may respond, right? And so they're just going to kind of tiptoe into the water, right? And then there's the 1% that are going to create information, okay? So that means those are the people that post on your board, whether you ask them to or not. Those are the people that, that add their freebies. Those are, people who ask questions. Those are the people that dive in. So if you only have 30 people, or let's just say 100 people in your group, that means 90 of them are just watching, 9 of them are going to respond, and 1 person is going to actually be posting. So that is frustrating, right? Especially when you're putting out all this content. When I was putting out all my YouTube content and I was getting like 10 views and 100 views, and that still happens, right? But you know what happens? Over the years, people are still watching my old videos from 3 years ago. Right? People that are in the group will also, you can search in Facebook groups, they're still looking. And so there's people that are like, oh, I've been following you for years. I have no idea who they are. I've never engaged with them, but they were looking, right? They weren't engaging, they weren't liking and all of that, but they knew what they wanted to do. So if you want to start a group, one thing that I want to encourage you to do is not get discouraged when people aren't commenting. Continue to be consistent and continue to put things out there. One of the things that you can do more is ask people questions. Ask people easy questions, not questions they have to think about. What's your favorite song? Nothing to do with business, but I'll post that in there. Post a picture of your kids, right? Because it's something easy. And what that does is it shows you those people who never talk, but that you can see. And then you go click on their page and go look at their personal page so you can learn more about them. It is part of your job as an admin to know your audience. And so if they're not giving you the information you need, you have to go out and get it. So let me just look. That makes a lot of sense. And this is lit from Larry. That makes a lot of sense. I have noticed a lot of people will contact about post or video, but don't respond on a post. Exactly. Or they'll try to inbox you, right? And you have to decide how you're going to deal with inboxes, because at first it's like, oh yes, people are inboxing and asking me about my business, right? And then you get like 15, 20 inboxes a day and you can't handle it. Direct them to the group, right? My answer is always like, this is a great question. You can jump into the group and ask this, and I'm sure they can help. Crystal says, and people don't click the see first option, so many don't even see the post. So let me tell you, and Nadia, we just did a session. This is my sister. She's texting me. I need you to be in this live stream. So this is the thing. I've reminded people a couple times to do the see first. That's not my thing. Facebook is all about algorithms. And so if I post a lot, right, and people, so Crystal, Larry, I think everybody in here that I can see is in my group. And you'll notice, and this is my secret, I post questions that have nothing to do with social media sometimes. Sometimes it's because I just want to get the group engaged and riled up and, in there. Sometimes it's because I don't want people to always think about work and business, and I don't want them to think, okay, I only want to go into this group when I need help. I only want to go into this group when I'm thinking about business. I want them to feel like it's a community where you can go in and be like, hey, you guys, my hair is popping. I did my eyelashes right, whatever. I just want people to be able to share. So sometimes, and I used to do this a lot before when I used, I forgot what it was, but I would ask questions like, how long is your commute to work? Coffee or tea? Which do you prefer, Microsoft or Google, right? those are questions that actually get people to just comment. Those easy questions that just say, oh, I can answer that. It takes 2 seconds, right? Like this if you love pink, right? But what that does is it tells Facebook, especially now that you have insights, it tells Facebook that people want to hear this information. People want to be involved in this group. So people, so it's like, oh, since 200 people like that post, the next post, instead of just showing, 10 people in the group this post, let's try 50. And so my second post after that, Facebook groups will show 50 people. And if out of those 50 people, like say 35 like it or engage, it's going to say, let's show 50 more. Let's show 100 more. That's why on Facebook, you see a post that was posted like 3 days ago, but since 300 people commented on it, you're now seeing it. What Facebook does is says, okay, the commonality is this group, right? And 10% of this group liked this post or commented. So let's show 20%. Okay, well, most of them liked it. Let's show more. Let's show more. Now, if you're posting and you get a lot of comments or posts, your very next post, you should, quote unquote, get more. So sometimes if you're doing like a freebie or something, you can post and then post a different one. Like, step back because that didn't make sense. You can post something that gets a lot of engagement. The one after that should be maybe your freebie or something that tells about your business or whatever. Okay. The other thing is live streams get more views. There's a percentage. I have it in one of my presentations that I do. So instead of doing a video and uploading it, if you do a live stream, even if it's a quick video, you're going to get more views on that. If you stay longer on your live stream, especially in your group, you're going to get more views on that. The longer you are, the more, Facebook's going to go out and find other people. So if there's 10 people on there, it's going to find 10 more people that have things in common with those 10 people and say, hey, do you like that too? So let me just check the questions. I created a contest for a client and it worked for her group for members to click and see first. That means that you married what they needed with the audience. Larry says, great idea. I need to do that. Post some other off-topic things. And the thing is about posting off-topic things, it has to relate. Most of the people in Pink Boss Club, there are a lot of parents and mothers and things like that. So if I post something about, Happy Mother's Day or whatever, or, what are you doing with your child today? How do you spend family time? It's going to interest them because they're a person, they're a parent who likes that. So keep that in mind. Okay, you're encouraging me to keep my group. Stella, thank you for the insight. Now I understand my insights. Okay, so this is the thing. Let me tell you the bad thing. My group runs my life in the sense that I do post every day. There's people who have like every day of the week, they have different posts and things like that. And I used to do that. I still do that off and on. But the thing is, when it first starts and you're doing like, I don't know, Motivation Monday, everybody jumps in. The next time, half the people jump in and it goes like this, right? Sometimes there's people who can keep that. It's the same things they've been posting along the way and that energy keeps on going. For me, I found that like I can do it for a couple months and then I switch it up. Then I did videos. Every day had a different video. Then I switch it up. Right now, I only have 2. I think I have What Wednesdays. What that tells me is what people are struggling with, what they need from me. And then I have Freebie Fridays because people like to share their free stuff, right? Every other day, I'm sharing stuff myself. So on Sundays, I do self-care Sundays. So I take a picture of whatever I did that has nothing to do with business, and I encourage other people to do so also. Other days, it might be something I read or an article that I share. A lot of things that people don't do is that they don't share things from other people. No one's going to leave you and not ever talk to you again if you shared something from another coach or another brand. So you can go and find different articles. Like Crystal, I know you do a lot of admin and executive support and things like that. 5 different tips and tricks on how much money it saves you to have an admin. If your group are people who need admins. If they're actually admins, share a video that teaches them how to do how to show value to the people they support. Whatever it is, find some information that's not yours and post it in your group. It's not all about you. And half the time, it's not even about you. They connect with you, they like you, but it's more about the information that you're sharing, right? So you can share, yes. Katrina said, #sharing is caring. So, and that's the thing. It's a community of people. A lot of people are going through things that I go through. So yes, there's times I'm in there and I'm deep conditioning my hair and I'm doing a live stream, but I'm like, y'all, I have to share this information because it just came up. I try to make my group not so like stuffy. You know, like you see I have my little pillows in the back. I talk about my dog. But the thing is, we have enough drama outside of the group, where in the group, I want to make it fun and interesting and they can ask questions. So let me circle back to the original topic, and then I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks about groups. And then I'm probably gonna talk about who shouldn't do a group. So profile page, it is your personal stuff. It's how you share things that are in your life. It's your timeline of your life. That's the purpose of it. You don't do business on that, but you can share things from your fan page, other places, who you are, starting a business, you know, just hit, you know, 500,000 in my business, whatever it is, you can share those are your life events. I try not to I don't want my business to take over my personal profile, because I want to have my own identity. But I also have to realize that people that are in my group and my fan page also connect with me on my profile. So you do want to, you know, I don't know, make sure that you're not out there saying anything inappropriate. So you can set that to private, and you have the opportunity and choice to not accept the people that are on your fan page and groups. But I will tell you that's going to hurt your brand if you're not connecting with them at all on a personal level, right? I choose to make all my posts public. Fan page, that's where you send information out. You want people to engage with you, but you're sending information out. News, products, education, entertainment, all those kind of things are your fan page. You get insights, you do ads, you engage, you can give access to your team, other people control it, all of those kind of things. But the whole thing is it's public facing. Everybody can find it. If someone does a search for your business, most likely Facebook is going to come up first, even before your website. So that's the benefit. Every single business owner should have a Facebook page, period. No excuses. Groups, inner circle, community, one common goal. It's where you connect with people. Here's my thing. If you're not going to be in your group every day, don't expect other people to be in your group every day, right? Don't expect people to engage every day. So having a group is a lot of work. It's not easy peasy. You're not going to get 1,000 people overnight. And I'm sure there's, you know, freebies on how to get people overnight, 1,000 people. And I'm sure you can do it the certain kind of way. But for the most part, just like YouTube and everything else, it takes time or it takes money to grow it. There's always something that you can do to grow your community. I did it with Facebook ads, getting people a free and getting them to join my group. Now I do it with YouTube and everything else, sending people here, right? So with your groups, do not start it if you don't have time. If you don't have time, you can have somebody help you, moderators, admins, they have different levels. But if you're not in your group and you're promoting it as like Pink Boss Club with Socially Nina, but Socially Nina ain't in there, then it's kind of fraudulent to me, and it's just useless. If you're not going to be in there, don't create a group. And the thing is, even though you want a lot of people in your group, it's not necessarily about all of the numbers. I'm happy that we reached 3,000 members, but I'd rather have 3,000 members that feel connected and that I can give information that they need than having 10,000 that don't post, don't engage, don't get what they need. So focus on quality, consistency, and you being a part of your group over trying to get that number, right? If you have 50 people in your group, you need to be, you know, engaging with all of them, seeing who they are. If you have 3,000, you have to do less of that, but you still want to give them what they need. Okay. When you create a group, make sure you're going to either choose public, closed, or public, closed, or secret. I never do public because I don't have a business that needs a public group. I want it to be closed and I want it to be a safe place. And secret is like if I have secret groups for my program, always post the rules somewhere so people know my group, you are not going to be coming in there and posting all your sales stuff on the group because that's not what it's about. Okay. Any questions as I wrap this up? Anyone? I hope this helps because I keep on hearing all this stuff about Facebook group, Facebook pages, or I tell somebody you need a group and they create a page, or I say you need a page and they put it on their group. One other thing, don't create 1 million pages. Okay. You can change the name of a page. You don't need a page for your business and your personal and all that kind of stuff. Just create one, make that work, and then you can expand. There's no need to have 1 million pages or 1 million groups. Try to focus on one if possible, because now I have Pink Boss Club and I have Pink Boss Academy, and I'm noticing that I need to come up with more things for the Pink Boss Academy as far as a group. So yeah, any other questions, comments, any tips? Leave tips in the comments. If you guys have it, actually, if you have a group, let me know what the name of your group is and copy and paste the link. If you cannot copy and paste, or actually type the link. If you cannot type the link, that means you did not create a customized URL. I do have a YouTube video on that. But if you have a group, put it below. If you have a fan page, put it below, right? I want to see you guys' groups and fan page. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have tips, put them below as we wrap this up. Many don't know the difference. I know, Crystal, I didn't realize that until I started giving tips on groups or pages and people didn't know the difference. And that's okay. Not everybody knows everything. That's why you have other people that you look to for that. I'm sure Crystal knows a lot more about admin and support and organization than I do. I don't pretend to know all that kind of stuff. So everybody has their specialties. Everybody stays in their lane, and you look to others to actually tell you the difference. So, okay. I'm going to be wrapping up in about 10 seconds unless I get any comments, questions, anything like that. But I would love for you guys to put your group. I would love for you guys to put your fan page. And I would love for you to actually join Pink Boss Academy. Or excuse me. Yes, Pink Boss Academy. But Pink Boss Club. Pink Boss Club. Okay, so I put the link in there. Let's see. Okay, you guys, I'm going to end this with my call to action. Every time you do a live stream, I'm going to remind y'all, always do a call to action. My call to action is join my club, pinkboss.club. That takes you to my Facebook page. Excuse me. See, I don't even know the difference. Facebook group. And I'm going to actually post, I think I have a couple of videos on Facebook groups, like how to tag, how to change your URL. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel, Socially Nina, and I'm actually going to post a couple things in my group. Again, that's my inner circle. That's where I engage with people. That's where I find out more about you and your business. I will be doing these live streams once a week, and that's going to be starting not next Thursday because I'm moving. Yay! But the Thursday after that, I'm going to be doing probably once a week. I'll be doing some topic like this so you guys get to know more about just social media, business management, workflows, all of those kind of things that can help you as an entrepreneur. Okay. Lindsay says, I'm definitely going to be setting up my group now. Thanks. Woo-hoo. All right, y'all. I'm about to go. I'm hungry. If you have any questions, head over to my group. Love y'all. Peace.